Previously on Youths of Dublin.
I decided to invite everyone to Dunleary because I looked at the weather and it was supposed to be nice, and I just thought it'd be nice to walk on the pier and maybe get some ice cream.
We should have brought like a picnic. I'll eat the grass. Actually would. But God knows what's been on it. Jack.
Sitting down and kind of waiting for Nico to try to like end the drama that's been going on, but he decides suddenly to just like act like he's never done anything wrong in his life and butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
Because you bitch and you stir the pot and then you act all holier than thou when anybody bitches. You're like, you start all the drama and then you're like, gasp, I can't believe she said that. Oh my God, how dare you? Who do you think you are? And I'm like, Nico, you start all of the fights.
What fights have I caused? What drama have I been causing? Well, it's not like I wake up like, oh, what can I do today?
You totally do.
Are you joking? What do you? How do you know what I do when I wake up?
The majority of why I spend my time just giving out is because I don't really know what you're like, because you spend your whole time either like with your head in your phone or telling me what other people have said. So if I can't get to know you and know what you're like, because you're always redirecting it to other people because you don't want to be vulnerable, then it means that I never get to see what you're like, so I'm always going to have an issue with you. Like, Chloe and Owen don't talk very much, but I know what they're like. They're nice people.
I don't know if it feels sincere when Jack is constantly complimenting me and Owen's relationship.
I think it's a bit out of place and weird considering we've only met.
They are really nice, wholehearted people. I'm not 100% sure about Eoin, but I've gotten closer to Chloe even after meeting her a few times. She's really nice, really down to earth, and she's not really a bitch at all, to be quite honest.
They're nice quiet people that sometimes get like pushed over the edge, because everyone gets pushed over the edge. But they're nice people and they don't redirect it all the time. So I know what everyone in the group is like.
Jack does not know any of us well enough to be making any sort of character judgments on any of us, whether it's positive or negative. Jack constantly flattering Chloe and Eoin is simply just to butter them up, to try and get them to agree with him, and thankfully they're smarter than that.
I know vaguely what they're like. I'm not their best friend or anything, but I know a little bit what they're like. Whereas I don't know anything about what you're like, because you're always redirecting it. You're always making it about somebody else.
It kind of seems like Jack is presenting his opinion as facts because it sounds proper, so that's how he wins his arguments.
Nothing is ever your fault.
Well, if I felt like something was my fault, I would have no bother saying that it was.
Yeah, but this whole thing of like, oh, if I feel like I've done something wrong, I'll apologise. Yeah, but if you never...
Well, you're presuming that, like, I'm always doing something wrong, and it's like...
No.
You've only just, like, basically come into the group, and it's like, you swear you've been observing this for 5 years, and now we're going through, like, an analysis of it or something, and it's like, you don't know all the situations that you're, like, kind of hinting at. It's really funny how one moment Jack is making all these big, huge, sweeping statements about me, and then the next sentence he's saying, but I don't know you. Exactly, you don't know me, so how can you be so confident to say all these things about me? And half the he's saying, I'm like, when the did you come up with this? It's like, hello?
Well, I'm not hinting at anything. I mean, it's literally just...
Well, you're like,
this is what I've seen.
If you feel this way, but it's not just if you feel this way, but like, how do you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know as much as I would like to know to say anything for sure. I'm just saying that from what I've got across so far, from what I know so far, it's just like, I don't get why you're not just being yourself. Why do you spend your time redirecting onto other people?
Nico, you can't go from being quiet 1 second to being a bitch the other to acting like somebody else being a bitch is bullshit. I'm sitting here like, Nico, you pick what you're gonna be, and if you're gonna complain about other people being bitches, then you can't be a bitch yourself.
I mean, I only have a few examples of being around you, But if you spend 100% of your time redirecting onto other people, I'm like, that does have to be a high proportion of the time to the rest of the time.
But I wouldn't say that I do that
I mean,
all the
like,
time.
I bitch about 50% of the time. And I'm nice about 50% of the time. And you've seen that I'm nice about 50% of the time. I bitch a huge amount, but I'm also very nice when I try to be. But because you've seen so far that I'm nice 50% of the time and bitchy 50% of the time, you can be like, okay, well, over time that's how he's going to be.
He does thirst after drama. He really enjoys it. He enjoys drama that he's not directly involved in.
You know? But if you're always redirecting it onto other people and it's always not about you and you're always this observer a little bit apart and it's all just everybody else's problems, then I presume that's how it's going to be going on, and I don't want to deal with that. Because I'm like, why would I be friends with you if you're just not going to give me any of yourself?
No.
A friendship is about, I give some of myself, you give some of yourself, and we meet somewhere in the middle. But the problem is, you're not giving me any of yourself, you're only giving other people. Other people, what other people said, other people's opinions. Which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Frankly. I don't want to be friends with your friends. I want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's just unfortunate that is how it's been so far. Because, like, I've spent a lot of time with Chloe and Eoin, and I don't, like, they can speak for themselves, but I don't think I spend my whole time constantly just like, other people, nothing about me. Like,
no, like you might mention something.
Yeah, I will tell. I'll tell them quite a lot. Like, and I do actually tell quite a lot of people quite a lot. It just takes time for me to open up to someone. Do you know? Like, this is obviously nothing, like, no one chooses this, and this isn't your fault, but when it comes to just, like, males, I have such a harder time opening up and trusting, and that just also has another thing to do with it. Like, on top of me it's being hard just to open up in general, because I have trusted way too quick in the past, and it's just, like, completely backfired, and it's usually with men, so that's also the reason why I might not always seem initially like I'm really opening up, and I'm always just deflecting and talking about someone else. But I understand that's not your fault. I have my own personal issues because of things that have happened in the past where continuously I have been hurt or betrayed by men, and I basically just trusted them too much or opened up to them too much, and now that has had an effect where it's harder for me to open up to men in general, and Jack is a prime example why, because I haven't even done anything and he's already insulting me.
If you're gonna go on about a sob story, I swear, like, he was looking for sympathy, and I had no sympathy to give. If you're gonna pretend that it's really hard for you to deal with men, then your best friend can't be Aiycham.
I've just gathered from the time that I was here that everyone seems really genuine, and I have a real big problem with, like, people not being genuine and people being really hypocritical, and everyone in the group seems really genuine to what their story is, because, I mean, everyone is the leader of their own story, everyone is the protagonist in their own play, you know? But the only person who doesn't seem genuine so far, in my opinion, is you, and it's just, I'm like, if this is going to be a thing, if I'm going to be friends with you all, I can't handle that. I can happily, like, I'd go out and go drinking with Alexandra. I'd go out and have coffee with you two. But I'm like, why would I go out with Nico? I don't know anything about Nico. I mean, I don't even know your surname. I literally don't know anything about you. I don't know about you. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like,
well, I have no problem, obviously, like, sharing information and open up to you, but it's not going to happen overnight.
yeah.
Because, like, as you explained before, your whole, like, reasoning to the insulting thing is to, like, open people up, but that does the opposite for me, where it just makes me more closed, so it's going to be more difficult for me to open up in that circumstance, so.
And I've been very insulting. And I mean, if that's
and I'm just
issue,
not
then
used
yeah.
to that.
But I've also been very complimentary, but
Yeah.
it feels like you only hear the insults.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
He just stands there, sits, acting like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, and he's sitting there all holier than thou, as if I have started all of this drama and I have ruined the day, when all of this bullshit is his.
I honestly don't know what to say. Like, I'm not saying this as like a dig or anything, but is that perhaps just your own like perception or insecurity of like, oh, Nicole's not actually happy to be here or anything? Or is like, do you know? Because
No, I think my perception is I would like to get closer to you, but it is very hard to want to get closer to someone when instantly if you go anywhere near them, they put up all these walls around themselves.
Oh, no, it's not right for Jack to be giving out about Nico putting walls up, because Nico doesn't know Jack that long, so it's not natural for someone to just go, here's my life story, and like, you're my best friend now after knowing you a few weeks. But yeah, and I think I see Nico's point of view better than Jack, because obviously I know him longer.
And anybody else I've been around from the group, literally everybody, you come close to them and they're very welcoming, whereas you're like not.
I am allowed to put walls up and protect myself from getting hurt, and I'm not going to apologise for doing that just because it doesn't suit him. I don't think anyone should be complaining because someone is a little bit reserved just towards him. But let's remember why those walls are there in the first place.
I mean, but the thing is, everybody's been hurt in the past.
No, it's not in the past. It's like as soon, like it's just the insult thing, and that's literally all it is that it's fine, I'll get used to it, but it's just going to take me longer to open up and to come to actual terms with it and be like, okay, you're just going to have to like suck it up. Because usually don't be presented with people who would do that.
I mean, at least you know I'd never lie to you, to be quite honest. I mean, it's all fine and grand to meet someone for the first time and they're like complimentary at the bollocks. Like, it's all fine and grand, but if you learn over time that all that was bull, then you're like, okay, well, whatever. I start as I mean to go on. I always have. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it's just going to take me a little bit more time to open up to you and to get used to the insults. And I know it sounds so like sensitive, but it is what it is. Like, it's how I feel. Like, we all have certain things that might, like, you know, hit a nerve, and you know, sometimes those insults hit the nerve, do you know what I mean? So it's just going to take a tiny bit more time to get used to it.
Whatever you want to do.
I don't think it's what he wants, though, it's just what has to happen.
Yeah, like I'd love to be able to just be like, yeah, absolutely open up, but then I'd feel like fake. I'd feel like I'd have to put it on rather than just it happen naturally.
I mean, I'm a very open person, and you're a very closed-off, private person.
I think it's so rich of him saying that I'm a closed-off, private person. That could not be further from the truth, and I think anyone who knows me, even remotely well, will know that. So at this stage, I think he's just coming up with all this in his head, and it actually has nothing to do with me. It's all his own.
And the fact is, if we're going to meet somewhere in the middle, you have to open up more.
Well, yeah, I will.
It's not that he's a closed person, like, you've met girls in our year and you're just like, here's my life story, but like,
Yeah.
with guys, you're just like...
Yeah, no, and that's completely not your fault, and that's my own thing I have to work on, but that's literally what it is, like... I'm actually really, like, touched that Chloe is sticking up for me, and, you know, it just shows you that she is my true friend, and I'm just glad that she is sticking up for me, because clearly Jack was trying to get her to side with him.
I stuck up for Nico in the moment because Jack was being a bit, like, harsh, I don't know.
With girls, I have absolutely no issue, but with guys, it's just always more of a wall there.
Yeah.
And that's not your issue. That's my own thing to deal with.
I wonder why. Are you okay? I think your eyebrows are gonna be a bit sore after today.
Chloe and Eoin are sitting there like, how the did we end up in all of this drama? And I feel like they don't really know if it's me or Nico starting the drama. I'm sitting there like, I called you out. It's your time to take responsibility for your actions. And Nico is just going to hold on to this for as long as he can. And in no way is he going to give forward any information that would show him in a bad light.
It's one of the things that pisses me off, actually. Me and Nico are like similar in a lot of ways. But anytime, like Nico does a ton of things that no one else in the group complains about. But when I do them, even though Nico also does them, he'll complain when I do them.
In the words of Elsa, let it go, okay? Because I don't even know what you're supposed to let go, because there shouldn't be anything there in the first place, but you clearly have an issue with me.
And I'll complain when he does them. It's a bit hypocritical for both of us.
I haven't seen that.
My thoughts of the day is that in the beginning, during the argument, I was like, here we go again, what's the problem with me? And by the end of it, I'm like, he doesn't have a problem with me, it's all in his own head.
Next time on YouTube Dublin.
Today, me, Chloe and Chloe's sister are going to come home.
We decided to go because we had gone last year, and what got me interested in going was that my friends had brought me when I was 14, and I've just always been interested since then.
Today I am going to the salon. Today I'm getting a toner just to take the brassiness out of it and to make it more blonde, more close to platinum and less ginger.
It was my fault, I messed it up. I offered to fix it, but like, you know, she was in my face, screaming, shouting. Even though I was apologetic and stuff like that, I told her I'd fix it. But of course she kind of crossed the line and I wasn't going to tell her off and stuff like that, just from the person I am.
Yesterday, so Chloe invited us to Larry. Today Agata is coming over.
Because it pisses me off, like remember with Aiycham and Eoin? Like it pisses me off when somebody has so much to say about someone they don't know and it's about nothing.
It's
and
exactly.
I feel like Jack is just a little bitch that starts over nothing. Like just starts, he's saying I don't like drama for drama. Yeah, okay, hon.